Manchester United are closing in on the potential full sale of the club and are anticipating an official bid to come in from a private investment group in the Qatar region. This is massive news because obviously the Glazers have owned us for over 17 years, and it's been a long time coming for many Manchester United fans to see the potential sale of our football club. Honestly, I am very excited. Naturally, as a Manchester United fan, this is great news to wake up to, because for 17 years, the Glazers have ran this club into the ground. They've taken money out. They've put the club into ridiculous amounts of debt. They've failed to maintain the infrastructure of the club, with Old Trafford being in a complete mess, leaks in the ceiling, etc., etc. They have just been terrible owners in every way, shape, or form. And the prospect of new owners potentially on the horizon is genuinely what my definition of utopia is as a Manchester United fan. Now, this has generated a lot of conversation in the Manchester United fan base. First of all, a lot of people are wondering if this is even possible because there is a conflict of interest. A lot of people seem to believe that the Qatar group that is interested in Manchester United actually already owns PSG. But this is false, because if you actually read the news and you read the articles and the investment group that is being quoted, it's run by a separate individual from the person who owns Paris Saint-Germain. I believe that is the situation here. And in any case, even if it wasn't, even if the person does actually own PSG, I doubt they would hold on to another club over the prospect of buying Manchester United in the Premier League. A lot of people need to realize that the Premier League is a massive league. The Premier League gets more money and more revenue from other countries than it does from people in their own country. Not many leagues are like that. Most leagues' main source of revenue comes from their locals, right? But the Premier League is a global brand. It's a gargantuan thing. On top of that, you add Manchester United's fan base. You are talking about a massive project and the prospect of the amount of money you could make, but also just the fun you can have as a billionaire with Manchester United. It far supersedes anything you could do with some of the other clubs in Europe. That's just a personal opinion of mine. The same issue with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. People said that Sir Jim Ratcliffe might not be able to buy Manchester United because he owns Nice. With all due respect, he would probably sell Nice in a heartbeat to own Manchester United. Not just because he's a Manchester United fan, but as a billionaire investor, it makes perfect sense. You don't need a degree in finance and 13 years of experience as an accountant to understand that Manchester United is a far bigger club than Nice and PSG. So there is a lot to be said about that. But the other conversation surrounding this is the moral debate, because a lot of Manchester United fans seem to think that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the correct owner because he's a Manchester United fan, he loves the club, yada, yada, yada. The Middle East is bad because oil money is bad, because oil money is ruining football. If you don't believe me, just go look at Manchester City, go look at PSG, go look at Chelsea. How dare they spend so much money? They are ruining football. Personally, I don't care, mate. I don't care. I just want to see Manchester United win trophies. I genuinely don't care. Like, seriously, I think the moral arguments and moral debates about football are hilarious, because I feel like a lot of it is virtue signaling. And the reason why I believe it's virtue signaling, or there's an element of hypocrisy in it, is because most people, if their club was taken over by owners from the Middle East and they started winning the Premier League, or they started winning the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, just any trophy, season in, season out, they wouldn't complain. They would celebrate the trophies and they would continue to support that club, instead of actually standing up to what they believe in and saying, I'm not a Manchester United fan anymore because we're owned by X group in this region of the world and they support these institutions which violate these human rights. Therefore, I'm not going to support it. But no, you won't do that. You're a hypocrite. You'll continue to support it. It's like people who were against the World Cup being in the Qatar region, but they continue to watch the World Cup. It's like, so are you really against it? Are you really standing up for what you believe in? Or are you just saying stuff on Twitter to make yourself seem better? Genuinely speaking, because tweeting about human rights issues does absolutely squat, right? Like, it does absolutely squat. You're not actually doing anything tangible to directly help the people being affected by those issues. And also, you're probably supporting tech companies with the tech you use in your house that violate people's human rights. Right? We all know the stories about Nike and how they exploit people in third world countries to make their shoes, and how they've evaded tax with the way that they've set up their company. We know about the stories with Apple. You know, pretty much every massive company has something nefarious behind it if you're willing to dig and do the research. But most people aren't, because most people are hypocrites and they just enjoy being a virtue signaler for a few likes on social media. I'm not one of them. So I'm not going to profess to be upset and have a huge moral dilemma and be distraught if Sir Jim Ratcliffe doesn't by the club because he's a Manchester United fan and I need a Manchester United fan to run the club, because I don't. I don't care. Whether you love Manchester United or not is irrelevant. Are you going to make us successful, and are you going to run the club properly and follow the rules? That's all I care about. If the answer to all of those questions is yes, then I don't care, mate. I don't care. Take the club. Take the club. But I know a lot of you will disagree. It is what it is. That's just the way of the world. So, a lot of Manchester United fans desperately want Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and that's okay. That's what people feel. That's what people think. It is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As usual, it's been your boy Triple M. Peace.